The mention of Afghanistan is sometimes coupled with events of violence and unrest. On Thursday, the U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan confirmed Chicago pediatrician Dr. Jerry Umanos was killed by an Afghan security guard serving as a volunteer doctor in Kabul. One woman in East Chicago says there is another narrative to tell, one of peace. This is the story of a resident working to break cultural barriers with the push of her writing pen.
I have fun with that too.
Donna K. Upshaw's daily hard work is the maker of giggles and grins.
D.K. Upshaw is my professional name. I call myself a tuner. Lady tuner.
As a child, Upshaw, a lifelong fan of the funnies, aspired to do the doodling.
Growing up, I watched Saturday morning cartoons like everyone else. I just drew and made up my own characters. I realized people make cartoons.
Those people are an historically monolithic pool. Sherilyn Eaton founded the Orms Society, named after Jackie Orms, the first African-American woman cartoonist to chronicle Black cartoon artists. She says statistics show fewer than 100 cartoon creatives are African-American women.
Black women are not only capable of telling all kinds of stories. When you look at the women on the Orms Society list, it shows that Black women are not a monolith and that there's not one type of story that should be geared towards us.
I even had visions of being the first Black female cartoonist to be under contract to the New Yorker.
Upshaw started small, sending clips to several dozen minor magazines.
The 411 in Gary, Indiana. That's where my cartoon Our Follies appears. That's the principle.
After a decade of working locally, she popped her drawings online. 1,000 miles away in Florida, a United States naval captain clicked on her animations and found a future collaborator.
I read one of her blogs, and I could tell in the way she wrote that she just had a great heart.
It's called Afghanistan's, the world's first Afghan Proverbs cartoon, an Afghan way of saying all men are created equal.
At 54, the young girl who once dreamed of drawing for The New Yorker now has an international following from her home in East Chicago with Afghanistan's, an online bilingual cartoon depicting Afghan proverbs.
People around the world responding online. I've got a lot of tweets.
Naval Officer Captain Edward Zellum has a passion for proverbs.
An Afghan will say, now what do we say in English? The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
He spent more than a year in Afghanistan picking up the language.
As a Dari speaker, I found that Afghans have a long tradition of speaking in proverbs.
Zellum needed the right pair of hands to illustrate a cross-cultural exchange. He found them in DK.
I draw the cartoon and he puts the Dari and Pashto proverb.
They help Afghan children learn English.
By bringing those two universal languages together, proverbs and cartoons, that attracts people and it makes them look at the pictures, especially people who aren't literate. You know, the literacy rate in Afghanistan is only about 30%. So when Afghans see the cartoon, they want to know more.
Helping Afghans learn to read English using their proverbs. I thought I would have to draw Afghan characters, and I was afraid of stereotyping. But he said I could use my American characters.
The first Afghanistan was released this month. Upshaw is not compensated for the nonprofit work.
An artist friend when I told them that Captain Zellum was supporting Afghan education with these books, he said someone should support American education. There's nothing wrong with Americans helping out people in other countries.
Afghans are not that much different from us. You know, the normal person, no matter what their culture, religion, ethnicity, you know, they want the same basic things out of life.
Learning is tough, but it's always rewarding when I succeed.
Two storytellers whose works help others do one more universal task: learn.